Brakes. The thing you're losing with the brakes for an EV conversion, that's assuming it's got vacuum boosted brakes, is a vacuum source. Actually, with a diesel, you can't get a vacuum source from a diesel engine as opposed to a petrol engine anyway. So the original brake vacuum source came from a pump here mounted to the back of the alternator. I could just mount an electric vacuum pump, connect it up. It's actually really easy, just a 12-volt vacuum pump. It's pretty common. But full Tesla integration requires more than that. Also too, those vacuum pumps can be a bit noisy. So I'm going with the original Tesla brake booster, which is a motorized booster, an eye booster they call it. It's pretty common on lots of modern vehicles. I've got to get the brake pedal to interface with the eye booster. I could try to engineer up how to do that with the original Land Rover brake pedal, but I also have to integrate the stop-go pedal, accelerator pedal from the Tesla, and it's all mounted on this nice pedal box. So I'm going to integrate the whole pedal box. You can see the holes here. Just this mounts through the firewall and picks up on that, sandwiches it in. The brake pedal angle is going to be perfect. So yeah, I need to mount this in the Land Rover. So that's where the trickiness comes into play, because you can see how the brake pedal mounts up in through this hole. That's not going to fit in the hole. I think I'm going to do it sort of the same design as the Land Rover. So it's got that hole there and they've made a box here. So I think I'm going to do the same system, except I'll just have to enlarge the hole. Got plenty of room here. So I'll make up another box to mount the eye booster and to take up the pedal box. Also too, one benefit of that, which affects me not at all because I've already done all the work for it, is I can manufacture that box so it has a correct angle, because on the Tesla this mounts at an angle, sort of like that, which is why I replaced the brake fluid reservoir. But if I'm manufacturing my own box, I'll recreate that angle and I can reuse the Tesla reservoir. So anyone doing a conversion that needs an adapter, it's going to be spare now. Take all this out, offer it all up, work out what sort of size hole, and start looking at how that works. Another advantage of placing the brake booster is this one's looking a bit corroded. It still works fine, but it is getting a little old. So even though the Land Rover's all aluminium, it's not all aluminium, firewall's steel. You can see where the clutch box was, obviously a bit of leaky brake clutch fluid. Made that go a bit rusty, so I'll have to take care of that. But under the brakes, looks perfect. You can see the Land Rover booster pedal system and the Tesla one. This needs to sit on a bit more of an angle to get that going. It's going to be a similar height hole, but a wider hole. So I've calculated it needs to be about 210 millimeters wide. Basically I just need to cut that. Plenty of room here at least, so that's good. Just as I've done it now. There's a big old hole there now. Far out. It's fine, I know, but anyway, there should be enough room there now. I've got it sitting roughly in place. It needs to come up a little bit more though. The pedals, they're in a good position actually, other than just needing to come up a bit more. Just looking at pedal placement. So in the Tesla, you can see if you're sitting in the seat, the middle of the brake pedal basically is centered to the steering column. So it's handy to know. And it's got a nice, because you don't have a clutch, it's got a lovely footrest here on the stop-go accelerator pedal. It's actually, Camille often says this, it would actually be useful having a footrest on this side. On the highway, you've always got it on adaptive cruise, traffic aware cruise control. So sometimes you are sort of wanting somewhere comfy to put your right hand feet. The Tesla doesn't have enough room in the footwell, really. I mean, there's a computer behind there, VC right, which is probably why. But I'm thinking, might be worth thinking about a right hand footrest in the Land Rover, because I think I've got enough room. So I've just put a very rough, used an old piece of tin just to, you know, just to mock it up basically, and chucked it into a position, and then I'll modify it from that position to get it to where I want. So yeah, I can see at the moment the brake pedal is slightly to the right. Doesn't matter that much, but, and there's almost enough room for a nice footrest here, but not quite. So yeah, I'm going to go that way a little bit. So let me reposition to the left. So I've gone across 30 millimeters that way, and now the brake pedal is right in line with the steering column, and I've got plenty of room either side for my feet, to rest your feet, which is cool. I like that. Now, height-wise, I feel like it needs to be a bit higher. So I just measured the Tesla pedals, and the brake pedal, to the bottom of the brake pedal from the carpet, is the magic number. It's 135. So yeah, ideally, yeah, this definitely needs to come up more. There's no floor mats here at the moment, so yeah, anyway. But it needs to move up about 40 millimeters, I reckon. Maybe a bit more, 45. It's the pedals here, and they have this weird metal thing here on the brake pedal. Don't know what it does. I feel like it's obvious, but some sort of pedal stop or whatever. I had a quick look on the Tesla chassis and offered this up, and it didn't seem to correlate to anything. And if I want to raise it, like, this is the bit that's sort of going to get in the way. What purpose does it serve? I don't want to just cut it off until I know that it's okay to get rid of it. This working out the box, the brake box, whoops, this pedal box is an origami nightmare. Been trying to work out, because I have to sort of make it waterproof. Things I sort of need something more rigid to try to mount the pedal box on to get the right angles and stuff. I've done a couple of different CADs, you know, that sort of thing, looking at where to mount the pedal box, etc. So it's like, oh, well, I'll do a little templating. I go, hang on, that doesn't look right. Oops, I've gone. So that goes there, and then I've started to fold the wrong way here. I need it to go this way. Anyway, I'll just redo it like this is just a template. Sort of does your head in a bit, which is why you sort of need to template it up first to work out what the hell is going on. Bent it back in the right direction. So we're getting closer. It's a complicated area to get in there. There's only so much you can do with the cardboard template, because you sort of need to mount the pedals on, and with the cardboard it's not quite solid enough to get the right angles and that sort of thing, so it's good having it a bit more solid now. Pedals are close, but yeah, I just need to go that way 15 millimeters more and then down 5 millimeters, and I think we're almost there then. But we are slowly making progress. I've got to make sure that I can plug in the brake switch, the accelerator switch, and hook up the pin to connect to the brake booster. So I'll do a quick comparison of, this is where I'm thinking of the pedal box being. You can see how much further to the left the accelerator pedal is. Remember, the clutch pedal is no longer there, and it's obviously a lot more sort of vertical up and down compared to the Tesla. It's actually got much shorter throw, the Tesla pedal. I do remember it was a little bit weird, the Land Rover one, because your foot's sort of like this, landing on the floor here. So it's sort of like that. So the accelerator pedal will probably be a slightly better angle. I mean, ideally it'd be up here. Actually, I could change it, I could modify it, but I think that's okay. Now it's mounted in place. You can see the fluid reservoir. It's a great angle. It's perfect how it is. So yeah, very happy with that. Didn't need to stuff around doing a remote reservoir in the end anyway. I've been folding up and templating all sorts of different cardboard patterns and things. Try and get the pattern I need. So I came to the conclusion that the best way to do this is to make a base plate and put a couple of little folds in it, but then just started welding plates in, because it's some tricky geometry in there and it's easier to try and work that out in place. It's just tacked in, obviously, and I've got to do the sides. But I'm making progress after just spending hours and hours trying to fold things and blah, blah, blah. This is the best method I found. Bit of a pain in the ass. Well, my origami, which is sort of less origami now, but more just, I don't know what it's called, geometry, cutting and welding, whatever it is. So yeah, it's definitely the way to do it. Started off with the base plate, put it in the Land Rover, then just I think I started at the back here, this complex bit, welded a plate in there, welded a plate in there, just, you know, weld and tack as it's in the car so you get the right angles. And yeah, just slowly, some are bent and then just sort of bend and fit bits to fill in the holes. So I'm almost there. I'm going to have to go around and weld it all up. Bit of clearancing for the pedal and the brake switch. I think I need to put an access panel in here to be able to put the screw in here. It's a bit like eating an elephant. Just start eating it is the technique, and eventually you're finished. That's what it feels like anyway. And then at some stage you end up with a funny, weird looking box. Looks pretty cool actually. Steampunk or something. So the brake slash pedal box is complete. It's amazing how a lick of paint makes these things look a lot better. I've had to incorporate an access panel in here to be able to pretty much tighten that bolt there, because I can't get at it from the bottom. So yeah, it mounts the 4 holes there obviously, but Tesla also has a mount down here, which interestingly is not used in the Tesla. I think it's one of those things that you start over engineering a thing and then realize, oh, you actually don't need that for strength. But I'm going to use it. It basically goes through a long bolt, and I've got a hole through there. A couple of little cutouts, one for the brake pedal clearance and one for the brake switch here. This little tab will actually pick up on the guard mount, and I've made sure that I can remove said screw when the brake pedal box is in, because if you ding the guard and need to replace it or take it off for some reason, that would be friggin' annoying if you couldn't undo that screw. So I've thought about that. The firewall, I had to spend a bit of time doing a bit of rust mitigation in the seam through there, and under the clutch pedal box was just surface rust. Nothing. Good thing is nothing major. Couple things on the inside, just in the seams, but nothing major. Good time to sort that out now. So yeah, I can mount all that up now, seal it on, mount the pedals. So the accelerator switch was fine, there's plenty of room around there, but you can see the brake pedal switch. I needed to take a little bit out. The brake clevis pin, see, need to make sure you've got enough room to be able to put that in, which I do. Oh, I also had to, from the top of the brake pedal, it's got that weird, the bracket thing, which actually holds the brake pedal on the top. So you actually need the metal bit, but I just cut the top bit off, which may have been used as a pedal stop at some stage, but it doesn't seem to be used for that purpose, and I don't need it, I've realised. I had to cut that off, otherwise I found it was fouling up in here, not enough clearance. So that's the brake pedal box done, which is really good. That was a pain in the ass to do though. I don't want to pretend that that was easy. More just in getting around that weird firewall bit. Took me ages, just so I used cardboard stuff, but I also had to do metal design. I don't think this is even all my templates. You can see all the iterations I've sort of gone through to try to get it folded right and how to do it. I reckon I spent a day just thinking about it. But it's done now, so yeah, glad to have that done. The brake lines, work out what to do there, because the Land Rover has one for the back and two for the front. The Tesla one has just a front and a rear out from the master cylinder that goes to the ABS module, and then you got one for each corner of the car, so 4 on the ABS module. More thinking and planning and a lot more minushkaing to do the brakes. We're getting close. That's probably, sort of feel like the brakes are the last pain in the ass, tricky thing to do that I know about. There's probably going to be something else, but yeah, we're getting closer.